Hello guys, this is me again, and today, and the point of the video for today is we are going to look at the interviews of two players who have found themselves in a similar situation. They have started differently and somehow they have found themselves similarly to each other. One, I'm talking about Gareth Bale from Real Madrid, and I'm talking about Barcelona's Lionel Messi. Now, Gareth Bale wanted to leave last year and the club didn't let him. Messi wanted to leave this year and the club didn't let him. So they're in the same situation as per me, and I think that the difference between the two players is Gareth Bale has accepted his fate, knowing that the club will not allow him to go anywhere until and unless his contract runs out. And Barcelona's Messi, being there for about 20 years and just wanting to have experienced something new, wanted to leave, and he did not expect so much of negative outcome of his decision to go and experience new things, and that is why he is surprised and he is hurt. So we will look into the gist of the interviews, and I hope and I want you guys to look at the full interviews, because then you can get a whole idea of what I'm saying. We will first get into Bale's interview and then we will go on to Messi's interview, because Bale's interview was short and sweet, but Messi's interview was long and emotional and it covered quite a bit of areas. So yeah, let's get into it. So for those of you who know or may not know, the League Nations is going on right now, and Gareth Bale joined up with his Wales team 2 weeks back on a Sunday, and then he gave this interview, and the gist of the interview is as follows. Well, the interviewer on his very first question points out that Gareth Bale, on arriving at Wales and joining the team, was found smiling, and to that Gareth Bale says that it was nice to be back at a place where you feel more appreciated and supported by your fans no matter what. And he was happy to be back and is looking forward to the games. There are 2 games that Wales are going to play, the first one being this Thursday, and he also says that it is what it is, and things have been said by the press, and he's just focused on Wales now, and he just wants to prepare for the Euros. And he hasn't been training, but he has kept himself fit for the summer. So with this we get to know that Gareth Bale does not feel appreciated and supported at Real Madrid, and the fact that he has been, now I wouldn't say that he has been, then he was sidelined and then he was borderlined, and now he has been ghosted out of the team. And as I've said before in my previous video, he would rather want to be out of the team than be an unused sub in the bench. Moving on to the next question. The next question that the interviewer asked him was whether his lack of game time and his legs will be a concern for Wales, as he hasn't been playing in Madrid. But to that, Gareth Bale says that he has found a way to keep fit when not playing, and it shouldn't affect him much. He has been putting in the yards, he has been putting in the training. He's not his 100%, but he believes that he is at his best physical fitness. Following that, he was asked how he separates country and club football. So to this, Gareth Bale says that it was very simple and he feels very comfortable, he feels welcomed in Wales, and it doesn't affect him as much, and it is what it is. He has a passion to play for Wales and is motivated to play football, as he has not been doing that for Madrid. The next 3 questions have the same base: whether or not you're leaving Madrid, whether or not you want to go to somewhere else, and whether or not Premier League is a place that you want to be again. And to that, Gareth Bale has a similar answer to all the 3, and he says clubs needs to answer that. He wanted to leave last year, but the move was blocked. The club didn't allow it. The club said he needs to stay. He was motivated to play, but the club needs to answer whether or not he's allowed to leave. And he has a contract with Madrid and he has to do what he has to do. And I'm saying, so if a move comes by this year, whether or not he would leave. To that he says he wants to play football, he has a lot to give despite being 31 years of age. and he says we will see what happens, and he says everything is in the club hands, and I quote, they make things very difficult. Here we can see that the player has no control whether or not he can leave the club. The club has all the reins, the club has all the cards, and the club will decide whether or not he will stay, or he will go, or he will play, or he will not play. But we all know that he is a very good player, and since joining Madrid he has done very good. He has given us very good goals, highlight goals, and he is a good player. And a player of that stature to be left out and not be in the team seems very unfair, but it seems that the coach and the player do not see eye to eye with the direction that the club is heading. So that's what is happening with Gareth Bale, and he has made peace with it. Now let's move on to the Messi saga and the Messi interview. And it was a very emotional interview, as I have said, and if you have not watched the interview, please do go ahead and watch, because you can see the emotion in his face and you can feel the emotion in his voice. I'll just tell you the highlights of the interview. So the thing is, the interview asked him why was it necessary for him to speak now, and Messi replied with saying that Lisbon was a very hard time. They knew that Bayern were going to be a very difficult club to beat, but he didn't expect it to go as the way it went, and that gave a very poor image of the club, a very poor image, and he just wanted to clarify what had happened. He follows up by saying that he has been telling the club and the president of the club that he wants to go. He has been telling that for over a year, and he says that it was his time to step aside, and he thought about the club, saying that the club needed new, younger players and new, younger, fresher ideas, and he thought that his time at the club was over. And in saying so, he felt very sorry, because he has said that he wanted to finish his career over there, and to think that he has to go back to his word, it was very sad for him. Saying that he had a very difficult year in the dressing room, in the pitch, and in training, everything became very hard, so he just wanted to look for new ambitions. He wanted to experience something new, and that is nothing bad. He has been there for 20 years, man. If you want something new, I think you should be able to get it. And he says that it is not because of the Bayern games. It had been going in his mind for a long time, and he was told by the president that he should wait till the end of the season, and he should decide then whether or not he should stay or whether or not he should go. Now the following question from the journalist was whether or not he felt very lonely during this period, and he says that he had his people with him, and it gave him all the strength that he needed, but he was hurt by the things that he heard from people. He heard from journalists, the journalists questioning his commitment to Barcelona and saying things that he didn't deserve. And he takes a positive thing out of this, and he says that there are many false people in football, and this thing that happened to him helped him to see all the false people. And he says he was very hurt when his love for the club was questioned. Wherever he'll be, he says his love for the club will not change. The following question that the interviewer asks is, what all factors was it that fueled the thought process? Was it the money factor, the friends, and was he hurt for defending the shirt that he wore for the past 20 years? And Messi quite rightly says he put the club before everything. He had the opportunity to leave many a times before, and if it was just because of the money, he would have left Barcelona and would have gotten much more than he gets at Barcelona somewhere else, and that was not the case. And he says that it is his home, Barcelona is his home, and it is very difficult to leave one's home. The only thing that he wanted, he just needed change, and he needed new goals, new things, and that's nothing bad. As for my point of view, that is nothing wrong from somebody who has been in the same place for 20 years, performing at the highest level. Now the following question becomes quite emotional. Messi very rightfully controls his emotion at this point of time, but you could feel the hurt and you could feel the tension in his voice when he answers this. The question was, it has been 20 years, and 20 years seems a lifetime, and he has been there for 20 years, and was it hard for him to decide to leave? And Messi said that it was very hard. It didn't come from the Bayern beating. Messi always wanted a winning project. He just wanted to win titles at the club, and Barcelona for quite a while had no project whatsoever. They would juggle and would cover holes as they would come by. And when he told his decision to his wife and kids, it turned out to become a very brutal drama. His family cried, his kids didn't want to leave Barcelona, he didn't want to change schools and leave friends. But Messi wanted to compete at the highest levels and to win titles, Champions League, compete and try to win. Winning is a different thing. He just wanted to compete and not fall apart like in Rome, like in Liverpool, like in Lisbon. All of that led his decision, and he thought so that he was free to do so after the season ends. But now the president has clinged to the thing that he did not say it before June the 10th, and rightly so. Then they were busy competing in La Liga, competing in Champions League, and he couldn't say that. And with the pandemic going across the world, it was not a right time to say any of those things. The president says that the only way to leave was the release clause, which is impossible. 700 million euros is impossible for a single player, or a trial at the court. And Messi would not take Barcelona to court because he loves Barcelona, and he gave the team that gave him everything that he has now, and he rightfully gave everything that he had for the past 20 years. And he says that he would never ever take Barcelona to court. We are followed again by the hurt of Messi, and the interview goes on saying what hurt him most during this period. And the thing that hurt Messi most was the false things that was published, and the thing that people thought that he could take Barcelona to court to help himself, to benefit himself. He just wanted to go, and he just wanted his last years of football to be played happily, and he hasn't found happiness lately in football in Barcelona. So it is vital to be happy, but still Messi goes on to say that Barcelona is not doing well in Europe, but something needs to change, and he will continue. His attitude will not change for the club, no matter how much he wanted to go. He will do his best. He will always want to win. The club now has a new coach and new ideas, but it is yet to be seen whether or not how the team absorbs his things, and whether or not that could take them and make them compete at the highest levels. Following that, the interviewer asks Messi why is he hurt when his love for the club was questioned, and Messi says that he was pained when his commitment was questioned, and he is very grateful for the club, and he loves Barcelona, and he would not find a better place to call home, and he thinks he still had the right to decide. He just wanted new goals, new challenges, and in Barcelona he had everything, and he thinks that it's not wrong to be wanting to leave, and he thinks that the club needed it, he needed it, and it was good for everybody there. Following that, the interviewer goes ahead and tells him that a person staying 20 years in the same club in football is like a lifetime, and how does he feel? And Messi rightly says that he has given his best, and he has fought for all the objectives of the team, and he will now dedicate himself to the people who has a bad time similar to him in this year, and he will dedicate the coming victories of his team to those people who accompany them on their travels or in their home pitches, they help them with the matches and their families, and he just hopes that the world comes back to normal from this pandemic. That was the end of the interview, and with this we get to know that the club now are exerting much more power over their players than they used to before. So as we have seen with Gareth Bale, that he wanted to leave but the club didn't allow him to leave. And going towards Messi, I find it very horrible that the club president would do something like that to the player who has been his team's best player for the past 20 years. I mean, he has been giving his best, he has been giving his everything at the top of his quality. He has put his club before everything else, and all he wanted was a move to somewhere happier, so that his last playing years would be good, would be happy. And we have seen Cristiano Ronaldo do that. He left Real Madrid and went to Juventus so that his last playing years would be happy, and nothing wrong in that. And any other club would be very happy to have Messi in his team. And for someone who has been in a single place for about 20 years, you cannot question his loyalty, you cannot question his love, you cannot question his ethics for that team, because had it been not there, he would have left quite a while ago. As he said, money was not his problem, but he just wanted to try new things, he just wanted to try new ambitions. He wants to fight for the title, he wants to win titles, he wants to do well in Europe, he wants to win the Champions League, and Barcelona not being able to do so, he wants something to justify his stay over there. And Barcelona should do that, because now they have prohibited him from leaving, and with the sportsman that he is, I'm pretty sure he will give his 100% on the field, but in his mind it will be there that I gave everything for the team, and something that I wanted back from the club I did not get. So yeah, that's my video. If you like the video, please do like the video, comment on the video, and please do subscribe. Please go ahead and watch these interviews if you haven't seen them, and thank you. That is all for today. Peace.